God bless you. It's great again to connect with you and for you to connect with me, even though again as we so recognize it's a one-way street and that I'm speaking with you and that you're not able again to speak with me on a platform such as this, even though that is it is available. However, that's not the purpose of what I do. What I do here, but the Lord has been good to us, and He is helping me. He is truly helping me. Yes, I don't have all knowledge. I don't have all wisdom. Neither do I have more than what I would have, more than what I have. But I believe that as we speak, as we read, as we encourage you, and in turn, as you pray for me, which I do believe that you do for me, I hope you do anyway, that the Lord will grant petition at your place before myself. So may God bless you. Going straight on into chapter 5, so verses 10 through the 17, a little bit more than what we did in the previous uh, two sessions in this particular chapter. But here again, Solomon the preacher, Solomon the teacher, he's encouraging us again to guard against certain things that really could have a devastating impact on our lives. Not only on our lives in this reality, but also in the way we relate or have the relationship with God. Now, in the first session, particular to chapter 5, the team is encouraging us against insincere worship. In the last session, he is encouraging us to guard against oppression and injustice. In this session, he is um, against covetousness and the love of money. And oh, don't we really need to guard against this? I'm not saying it is worse, it's the worst out of insincere worship and oppression and injustice. It's just as bad as these or any other sin that that is out there. But we do really need to guard against covetousness. We do need to guard against the love of money. Having money, being wealthy, is not a sin. Let me just say that straight up. Having money and being wealthy is sin. And I believe that you may have it. You may have it. I wish I had to some extent. But I'm grateful for the little that I have. God has given us, my wife and I, and my family, the ability to work, and it has helped us to have the thing that we have. But where covetousness and the love of it comes in is when we see the things that we desire and it takes us over in such a way that it consumes our thoughts, it consumes our aims and the objectives that we have, and it just takes over our lives. Just takes over our lives. Covetousness. Others shouldn't have it, we should have it. Why are they having it? Why is that gentleman or that lady having those things? They don't deserve it. But that's not for us to decide, really. They may not, and that's maybe true, they may never deserve it. But that's not for myself or for any one of us really to decide that. That is up to God. Let us just be satisfied with what we have. The love of money. People kill, people destroy others because they want the money. And when they get it, they don't spend it. And I believe that we need to look at these things. We need to look at these things. And Solomon, yes, Solomon, he was filthy rich. So he's not even saying is, is evil and it's sinful to have it when he had so much of it. That's not what Solomon is saying. He's saying the love of it. When it consumes us, when it consumes the individual to such an extent that it takes over his thoughts, his actions, his motives, um, and money and the love of it and covetousness consumes him and consumes them in such a way that they just want to see the removal of us. That's where danger comes. But let's read verses 10 to the 17 of the fifth chapter of Ecclesiastes. Let's read together. Again, I'm going to, because it's quite a few verses, I'm just going to read it one from the Jewish text, and then we will uh, hear and see what Solomon is saying. We'll just delve in a little. I'm not going to do a deep dive. I can't do it. I can't do all of this in just 15, 20 minutes or 30 or 45 minutes. And even if you should study this in the seminaries, in the universities of theology, or you sit before eminent professors and doctors of theology, 3 months, 5 years, whatever it may take, is not long enough. Really not long enough. And even the doctors themselves, they will tell you and share with you their understanding, but even then, they themselves will tell you that you need to look at it more and delve more into it because they will realize that Solomon, in all of his wisdom, really as much and as far as we can see it here, but there's much more that he himself could not. We really need to include God in our studies and the thoughts that we may have as far as his word is concerned. So let's read together from verse 10 to 17 of Ecclesiastes, chapter 5, reading from the Jewish text. The lover of money never had enough money. The lover of luxury never has enough income. This would increases, so does the number of parasites consuming. So the only advantage to the owner is that he gets to watch them do it. The sleep of a working man is sleep. Sorry, the sleep of a working man is sweet, I should say, whether he eats little or much. But the overfullness of the rich won't let them sleep at all. Verse 13. Here is a gross evil which I have seen under the sun. The owner of wealth hoards it to his own hurt. Due to some misfortune, the wealth turns to loss. And then, if he has fathered a son, he has nothing to leave. Just as he came from his mother's womb, so he will go back naked as he came. And for his effort, he will take nothing that he can carry away in his hand. Verse 16. This too is a gross evil, that in every respect, as he came, he will go. Thus, what profit does he have after toiling to earn the wind? 17. All his life he eats in darkness, in frustration, in sickness. Can I read those? This too is a gross evil, and in every aspect, as he came, so will he go. Thus, what profit does he have after toiling to earn the wind? All his life he eats in darkness, in frustration, in sickness. Those are some powerful words there. I don't know if you've read it before. Probably you have. Probably you addressed it in particular groups or in church, or you preached or you counseled. I don't know. You may have done many times. But if you haven't, just just for you alone, just concentrate on those two verses after you've read verses 10 through to 15, because there, there's some great truth. There's some great truth, great words of wisdom, knowledge and understanding, which the teacher, the preacher here is imparting. But I'd just like to, again, just very quickly, there are six points here. I'm just going to call them out. If you want to take a note of these 6 points, please do so. If you don't want to, that's totally up to you. But it's all within these 7 verses. These 7 verses, 10 through the 7. These 10, these 7 verses, they're all there. Something that I believe that you and I want to stress myself, because you may already have noticed, you may already be okay, perfect in everything that you do and you know, in as much as money and covetousness is concerned. But we must guard ourselves as children of God against covetousness and the love of money. Remember, there's nothing wrong. I just want to say this, there's nothing wrong if you are a millionaire. There is nothing at all wrong if you are a billionaire. Nothing. There's no sin in that. No sin. But where it becomes a sin is that it consumes your thought, it consumes and it dictates your behavior. And it affects your life in relation to where God is concerned. But let me just touch the 6 areas here. 1, because of the love of money, it creates an insatiable appetite, and this never fully satisfies the human heart. Earlier on in this particular book, chapter, I would say 1 and 2, the preacher, the teacher says here that the only thing that will fill the human heart and fill it wholesomely is God. It's only God, nothing else, nothing under the sun. In other words, nothing on earth will satisfy the human heart. The second one here, because wealth attracts others who want it, family, friends, thieves, it will attract anything and anybody. Wealth attracts the desirable as well as the undesirable. That's what wealth does and attracts. Number 3, wealth that is hoarded, okay? Wealth that is hoarded and not used at all for the good has no benefit. Number 4, wealth does not bring true peace of mind. Wealth does not bring true peace of mind. The laborer sleeps well, the rich worry much about their money and sleep very little. Okay. Number 5, wealth does not bring security. Wealth brings harm, can bring harm to persons. Wealth can be lost due to poor judgment. Wealth cannot be taken along at death. So you'll never see a rich man take his wealth with him to the grave. You and I'm hoping that we are alive here. We're not departed. But we've never seen the world's richest individual or rich individual take their wealth with them when they die. We've never seen it. They leave everything on the earth for their children, for their sons, for their daughters. Some even leave their wealth to their cats and to their dogs. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, their wealth does not go with them. Because of poor judgment, many have lost their wealth. They were very rich yesterday, and because of bad and poor decisions, they are homeless, penniless, and they need to be helped by us. And also, health can harm individuals, make one miser. So there are many, or one and two. It is said there was a very rich individual in this world. He was one of the world's richest individuals. He's dead now, but he was a miser. He never spent it on anybody, not even his own son. I won't call his name, but he was well known. You could Google him if you wish. I won't give the name anyway. But he's very well known, very popular in the sense that he was a philanthropist just to some extent. But when it came to his family, he was I think, and this happened many years ago. I was still a child. I think I was a baby at the time. Read about him. But even when they kidnapped his son, he wouldn't spend any money to release or for ransom, even though they mutilated the guy. I'm not sure. I have to read up on that again. But they did cut off a particular part of his body and they sent it to the father, and the father wouldn't do anything for him. He was a miser. He was mean. That's what wealth does, the love of money. That's what it does. And number 6, wealth can cause a person to live in a state of bitterness and despair. Wealth can cause a person to live in a state of bitterness and despair. That's what wealth can do. Sure, you've known individuals. They may not have become a millionaire or billionaire, but I'm sure you've known individuals from when they started to where they were, from where they were to when they got to. You can see that they were truly blessed, or we can even say that the Lord truly blessed these individuals. But when they got a little money, they became very bitter. They lived in despair, and you wonder why, knowing that where they were coming from, they had nothing at all. But yet, because of hard work, again, they may have been, I can use the word luck, even though it's not probably an appropriate word. But something took place, and they were privileged to be in a particular place or in a particular position or in a particular area for them to have been able to amass a little bit of money or a bit of wealth around them. But instead of making them any better, they became bitter. These things, my friend, these things are sinful. Guard yourself against the love of money and covetousness. They are not good. It's not right. Paul writing to Timothy, and I'll close on this. Paul writing to a young man by the name of Timothy in 1 Timothy chapter 6. He says here, but they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drive men in destruction and perdition. For the love of money is the root after. They have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. May God bless you. May God keep you. And as you live for this day, as you live today, promising you that you will see tomorrow. That's not in my hands. But as we live today, as we have read His word, and as we meditate on His word for ourselves, looking at ourselves, let's make sure that we are not doing these things, or we're not allowing covetousness and the love of money to rule and to influence our lives on how we live for God. But let us live for God. Let us give ourselves, submit ourselves to God, to the rule and to the rule of God. Because when we then allow God's word to rule and to reign in us, then when if at all money comes and if at all wealth comes our way, then we will know how. We will know then how to use the wealth that God has given us and the money that we have. We will use it to do what we need to do for God.